Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how I create these presentations of the websites for the portfolio. So I've created these instructions here and I'm going to just go down the list. So number one, take screenshots of the website for computer and iPad. Before beginning, take care that all fonts and images look properly formatted. Make adjustments to the site, even if temporary, if necessary. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is the site that I'm going to be working with today. And this is the image that I'm going to be taking the screenshot of. So what I'm going to do first before taking these screenshots, I'm just going to move the window around. I'm just going to make sure that everything is looking okay, nothing weird going on. And that's important because, uh, you know, if I don't do this first and I start taking screenshots, I might have to redo some after making some adjustments. So that's first and foremost. Okay, if using a Mac, use Safari browser at specified dimensions. And actually, I'm going to be using Firefox because of something that I'll show you. But Safari, I'll say Safari or Firefox. To appropriately size your browser screen, you may like to use resizemybrowser.com with a compatible browser. Only Firefox works for me, so that's why I'm using Firefox today. Or howbigismybrowser.com in the same tab with the new window. Make sure to close the tab before taking your screenshot. So I'm going to come over here, all right, and this is resizemybrowser.com. So I've created these presets already. So I'm going to click the first one. All right. Actually, I'm going to do the second one first. I'm going to do the MacBook first. Okay. And I'm going to paste in the URL of the site that I'm doing. So boom, there I have it. Okay. So to take a screenshot of this now, I'm going to hold Command-Shift-4 on a Mac, and then I'm going to Command-Shift-4, I'm going to press the space bar to choose this window, and I'm going to click. And I just took the photo. So now that screenshot shows up here on my desktop. Okay. And then I'm going to close this. I'm going to do it for this size here for the iPad Pro. Again, I'm going to put in the URL. And I'm going to snap the photo. And actually, I just noticed that when I snapped the photo, my mouse was hovering over this photo here. So when I look at the screenshot, let's take a look. Okay, that's not what I want. Okay, see that? So I'm going to have to do that again. Be careful about hovering over images. Okay, there I go. That's what I wanted. So we'll go ahead and delete this one. All right, I'm going to close this window. And then for the iPhone 6, I actually took a screenshot with my iPhone 6, and I have that here. Okay. If you don't have an iPhone 6, take I think the best way perhaps would be to take the screenshot with your existing phone if it's the same ratio, or perhaps maybe open up a window in Chrome and go to the site, and then use developer tools, and then specify the dimension here, 375 by 667. And then, let's see what happens. No, that's not going to work. So then you have to go like this. On a Mac. I'm not sure about on on Windows how you do it. But essentially, you're going to need to do something in order to get the correct ratio there, get an image that looks clean without this type of header on a browser window that you would see from a computer. Okay, it needs to look like it's on a phone. Okay, so I've got my screenshot, so I'm going to close this window for now. I'm going to come over into Photoshop. Now this file here I just had open to show you a preview, so I'm going to go to my working file, and this is the file that you're going to be working with. And so let's go to my next item on my list here. Okay, so I took the screenshots for the computer and the tablet, and I took the screenshot with the iPhone 6, which I already brought into my computer. Open the PSD template and bring screenshots into the file one by one. Drag screenshots to appropriate locations. All right, so I'm going to drag. First, I'm going to drag the desktop one and press enter, and now I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it in this folder for MacBook Gold. Okay, and I'm going to turn off iPhone and iPad so I can see a little better. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it here, and let's look at the next thing on our list. Make a shape around the part of the screenshot to keep. Make a shape around the part of the screenshot to keep by using the rounded rectangle tool with no fill and no stroke with a 3-pixel radius. Okay, so I'll come in here. I'm going to use my rounded rectangle tool. All right, and I've got a 3-pixel radius there. Okay, and now for this is a little bit tricky. I definitely need to zoom in, and you may not be able to see this, but I actually zoomed in even more by using the zoom function on my computer. And now I'm going to drag this rounded rectangle tool to get it as accurately as I can. And I'm just going to trace the edge of this browser. So now I've got that shape. Okay, so now I'm going to go into, or I'm going to press return. So I've now got that shape. I'm going to press Command Return on Mac to create a path. If you don't want to use a keyboard shortcut, you can come to Paths, and it's this button right here. Okay, so now I've got this, created this these marching ants, right? So now I'm going to click on the layer, and I'm going to now duplicate. On Mac, I'm going to do Command J to duplicate that layer, and you can see we've got this layer. And if we turn off these other stuff, we see we just have what we want. Okay, so now I'm going to delete that rounded rectangle. I'm going to delete that original screenshot. So now I've just got what I want. And I'm going to now drag this into place. I'm going to zoom in so I can get pretty accurate here. Okay. Drag that. Zoom out a little bit. Uh-oh. It's not the ratio that I was expecting. This is actually the first time I do it with Firefox. Last time I was doing it with Safari. So this is not the correct dimensions for this screenshot. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to delete this layer, and I'm going to come into this folder called temp. And actually I have the correct sizes for the screenshots that I need. So I'm just going to use these for this tutorial. But keep in mind that you're going to have to fiddle around on your computer a bit so that you're actually getting close enough to the actual ratio that it makes it look natural. So let's see, let's see so that's for the iPad. So this is for the computer. I'm going to drag this into the MacBook Gold. And I'm going to drag this one into the iPad. I'm going to drag this one into the iPhone. Okay. Okay. Oh, I see I put this in the wrong place. All right. So now as you can see, this is the finished work. You got to see the main part, which was, creating with that rounded rectangle tool and then duplicating that layer to cut out the unnecessary stuff. And from there, it's just a matter of uh, using the transform tool to expand that screenshot to the appropriate size and then to drag it into place. Okay, so let me come back over to my list here. So resize, do it for all three, drag into place, and then export as a JPEG without reducing size. So I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna come to File, and for me I'm using Photoshop CC, so I'm gonna come to Export and go to Save for Web Legacy. For earlier versions of Photoshop, I believe it's in this list here. Okay. All right, and I'm not going to reduce the dimensions here. I'm going to save it. I'll just save it to my desktop. I'll call it Jarrett Yoshida portfolio, or I'll say screenshot for portfolio. Okay. All right. So there it is. Now it's important that you don't delete this now. You definitely want to keep this. Don't delete these, because in the future, if the background color of the website changes from anything other than white, right, then we'll actually need PNG versions of this. The reason I don't ask you to make PNG versions right off the bat is because JPEG typically has better color representation, and also the file is lighter. So that's why I'm asking you to do JPEG. But keep the files in here so that in the future PNG is possible to get that transparent background. So because you're keeping the files in there, you're not gonna fill this file up with a bunch of photos. So only just after about 5 projects, five versions, you're gonna go ahead and just make a fresh template to work from. Okay. So that's it. I've added the dimensions down here. A note, make sure that the resulting image is sharp. If not, increase the size of your screenshot as necessary. Now, I was doing screenshots on my computer, which is an 11-inch MacBook Air, which is why I actually had to drag these images out for it to fit appropriately. If you're using a larger screen, then you may not have that issue. But all in all, these are the basic steps. You may have to fiddle around with some of the steps based on your particular computer, your particular setup. But this is basically how to do what I'm asking for. All right, thanks guys.